And Sultan Qaboos University Council held its third meeting of the year on e-learning plan of the university. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Ministry of Health announced 51 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultan to 2,049, including 10 deaths. The Ministry of Health stresses that 364 cases have been recovered.
Within the efforts to limit the spread of COVID-19, the Ministry advises all citizens and residents to keep on washing hands with water and soap. Avoid touching the face, nose, mouth and eyes. Follow hygienic habits when coughing and sneezing. Adhere strictly to social distancing instructions. Stay at home and not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Adhering to isolation and social distancing will prevent you, your family, and the community from COVID-19. Stay safe.
The Science Club in the Royal Army of Oman rendered a number of inventions and innovations which support the national efforts and precautionary measures to limit the impacts of the coronavirus COVID-19. The innovations include a number of medical equipment which will reduce the spread of this pandemic. Such projects include a smart mobile room for sterilization of individuals. The room will help allow affiliates to sterilize themselves before getting into work. The members of the Science Club also came up with a ventilator which can help 3 patients at the same time. Another innovation of the club was a device for sterilizing papers through ultraviolet radiation. The device will be used to sterilize the used papers at various public and private units, which help limiting the spread of the virus. The affiliates at the Science Club also came up with a smart face cover, which helps doctors while dealing with patients. The Science Club also contributes in a number of innovations that support the Royal Army of Oman and other security, states, military and security bodies. In the continuation of the national efforts to minimize the impact of COVID-19, the Royal Navy of Oman transported essential food products and vehicles to Khasab Port in the Governorate of Musandam from Saeed bin Sultan Naval Base in coordination with Sultan's Armed Forces and other units of the Ministry of Defense. The national efforts aimed at sustaining the living conditions for the citizens and residents in the Governorate of Musandam. The Public Authority for Civil Defense and Ambulance exert continuous efforts along with other bodies concerned to curb the spread of coronavirus COVID-19. The authority rendered support to Health Emergency Situation Center at the Ministry of Health using ambulance vehicles and provided them with ventilators and other medical equipment. The authority put the medical teams in a state of readiness to deal with pandemic developments according to studied plans. The authority plays a major role in supporting medical response and public health sector in the Sultanate in case of emergency situation. The authority activated Operations Center to be a communication on channel to exchange information with other state bodies concerned. Sultan Qaboos University discussed during its third virtual meeting for the current academic year the e-learning plan that is deployed in response to COVID-19. The Council also reviewed future plans for post-studies, the higher ratings in 5 of its programs for the year 2020, the approval for list of graduates in mid-2019 for PhD MA, BA, and diploma programs. The meeting was headed by Her Excellency Dr. Rawia bin Saud Al Busaidia, Minister of Higher Education and Chair of Sultan Qaboos University Council. The Minister of Higher Education announced the reimbursement of the amount of tickets for all students who have returned from the country from their study and did not apply for compensation. The Ministry will provide a link for ticket reimbursement services at the Ministry's website through electronic services for students for 1 week starting from 27th of April until 2:00 p.m. on 3rd of May. The Ministry explained that the process requires a private bank account, and those who do not have records at the Ministry's website may contact the consulate or the cultural attaché of their country of study. The humanitarian initiative Korba helped 28 defendants from the Governorate of Al-Lahira in paying expenses and closing their claim files. The initiative was funded by a benefactor for the 4th consecutive year. The Omani Lawyers Association affirmed that it aims at helping many more people in the future and stated it succeeded in releasing 673 arrestees in the previous year.
Non-compliance with the directives of the Supreme Committee dealing with coronavirus COVID-19 exposes you to risk and legal action. Stay safe.
And now for some international news. U.S. states from Minnesota to Mississippi this week prepared to join other states that have eased coronavirus restrictions to try to revive the battered economies, although some business owners voiced reluctance in the face of health warnings. Colorado, Montana, and Tennessee were also set to allow some businesses deemed non-essential to reopen after being shut for weeks, even as the health experts advocated for more diagnostic testing to ensure safety. Georgia, Oklahoma, Alaska, and South Carolina previously restarted their economies following weeks of mandatory lockdowns that have thrown millions of American workers out of their jobs. The number of known U.S. infections kept climbing today, topping 970,000 as the number of lives lost in COVID-19. The high contagious respiratory illness caused by the virus surpassed 54,800. Public health authorities warn that increasing human interactions and economic activity may spark a new surge of infections, just as social distancing measures appear to be bringing coronavirus outbreaks under control. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson today made his first public appearance since being hospitalized with coronavirus 3 weeks ago, saying Britain was beginning to turn the tide on the outbreak, but rejecting calls to ease a nationwide lockdown. 55-year-old Johnson thanked the British people for heeding more than a month of stay-at-home orders, saying their action had helped ensure the state-run National Health Service had not become overwhelmed. But more than 20,000 people have already died in Britain, not including deaths in care homes and in the wider community, making it one of the worst hit countries in the global pandemic. A total of 206,567 people have died worldwide since the epidemic surfaced in China in December. More than 2.9 million cases have now been reported in 193 countries or territories. Italy is the hardest hit country with 26,644 dead. Spain follows with 23,521, then France with 22,856. Norway, which says it has the epidemic under control, reopens primary schools to pupils aged 6 to 10 in another step forward towards a gradual normalization. Children in Spain under the strict lockdowns for 6 weeks can, since Sunday, walk, run or play outside for up to an hour a day, accompanied by a parent in an area no farther than a kilometer from their homes. Spain's March 14th lockdown is set to remain in place until at least May 9th, with the government expected to reveal tomorrow its plan for easing it. Israeli warplanes flying over Lebanon fired missiles towards areas near Damascus early today, killing 3 civilians. The military said Syrian air defenses shot down some of the missiles in the attacks, which have happened around dawn. The airstrikes is the 4th in Syria in less than a month, despite the coronavirus pandemic gripping the region, and comes amid rising tensions between Israel and Hezbollah group in Syria, as well as along the Lebanese-Israeli border. The Saudi-led military coalition in war-torn Yemen today rejected a declaration of self-rule by separatists in the country's south and demands an end to any escalatory actions. The breakaway declaration made yesterday threatens to reignite the war within the war in the Arabian Peninsula's country, which is already gripped by what the United Nations calls the world's worst humanitarian disaster. Separatists in the south, which used to be an independent country, have repeatedly agitated to break away again, a campaign that was temporarily put to rest with a power-sharing deal signed in Riyadh last November. Yesterday, the Southern Transitional Council declared self-rule in southern Yemen, accusing the government of failing to perform its duties of conspiring against the separatist cause. UN Special Envoy for Yemen, Martin Griffiths, said today he was concerned by the recent declaration calling for expediting the implementation of the Riyadh deal. Here now are the Ramadan timings for tomorrow. Fajr prayers will be at 4:15 a.m. and Maghrib prayers at 6:39 p.m. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Health announces 51 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 31 recoveries. The innovations of the Science Club at the Royal Army of Oman contribute to reducing the spread of coronavirus COVID-19. And Sultan Qaboos University Council held its 3rd meeting of the year on e-learning plan for the university. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.